Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today I have 5 9.8 comics I recently bought. So before we get into the 5 main ones, I did want to show everyone my Jurassic Park #1 in a 9.8. I'd mentioned on a video like I had purchased this one, but I hadn't kind of showed the team yet. So I did buy this one. It was from West Coast Collectibles in Canada, a pretty great eBay store in Canada. You can message them on Instagram directly. That's how I kind of got the deal done on this one. I'll put their link to their eBay store in the description below. I've purchased like my G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero #1 in a 9.8 from them as well. Just a pretty great place in Canada to have a look for some 9.8s. And they had mentioned like, hey, would you mind mentioning the store on the video? So I'm not getting any money or anything like that. But they were able to, though, hook me up with a Jurassic Park #1 in a 9.8. It was US dollars, $240 US dollars plus $20 shipping. So it was like $260 US dollars altogether. This is a 1 of 56 in the Universal Blue label. Pretty great. And 26.5% is the 9.8 ratio. So most of these I saw them kind of go for over 300 in a 9.8. And I had kind of reserved myself, I guess, to not get this one until after the Jurassic World Domination movie is happening right now. I didn't think I would be able to get a really good deal on this. I thought, you know, most of these are going to be over 300 in this kind of environment with that movie out. But West Coast Collectibles hooked it up. I think $240 US dollars is a great price for one of those 56 in Jurassic Park #1. Okay, recent pickups though. A Batman Shadow of the Bat 83. I was able to grab this one in an auction in Canada for a pretty great price, so it was just making sense for me. I kind of have now the, I guess they would be like the trinity of the new Batgirl issues, which is Shadow of the Bat 83. This one is the first time you actually see the new Batgirl, but it's Huntress as Batgirl. Even though in the story they don't really specify that it's Huntress, I think later on in the story you kind of find that out. But this is the first time you kind of see the new Batgirl in Shadow of the Bat 83. And then Batman 567 is a first appearance of Cassandra Cain. I have that one in the 9.8. And then Legends of the Dark Knight #120 is the first Cassandra Cain in the Batgirl costume. And I got that one in a 9.8. So I was always on the lookout for this one. I paid $57.50, $57.50 US dollars. It was an auction in Canada, so it was like $72 Canadian, plus like, yeah, it was like 20 or so shipping. There's 99 9.8s in the blue label, and 40.4% is the 9.8 ratio. So I've always wanted to add this one at a really, great fair price. And to be honest, $57.50 was even better than I thought. I think I bid, it was up to, I think I bid 105 Canadian, so it ended up going for $72 Canadian. So I still had a little bit of room there to win this one, but $57.50 if you want this one is a price to aim for. And it looking really good as well. Newly graded on the auction, I noticed they had mentioned, and not a scratch on the case or anything. Just a great looking Shadow of the Bat 83 for a great price. I was really happy to grab that one. So I did get a deal done for a Batman Adventures #1. I mentioned on a video recently, like this is kind of a cool one that's making sense. For me as a big Batman fan, love the Batman animated series. And just to kind of get the first, animated series adaptation in a comic book form, I thought was a pretty cool underfollowed pick. And interesting, one had I'd mentioned on a video like I was trying to buy this one and I had put in an offer for $205 for one that was in Canada. But another one popped up in Canada, this one, and ended up getting this one for $179. So yeah, $179 US dollars. The offer I put in that was rejected before was $205 US dollars. Kind of lucked out on this one too. It is like a perfect looking copy, just perfectly flat, awesome white pages. Looks great in the slab, no scratches anywhere, great centering. The spine is flawless. Like this was looking better than that one I put the $205 offer. So a good example of how patience can get you a better deal a lot of the times in 9.8 comics. 177 9.8s in the blue label, a 1 of 177, 36%. The 9.8 ratio. So just as a Batman fan, I'm really happy to get a Batman Adventures #1. And yeah, certainly like a Batman Adventures 12, I would really like to, but maybe I don't like Harley Quinn that much to kind of, fork out the big money on a Batman Adventures 12 9.8. But Batman Adventures 1, I think, is a little bit undervalued, and a pretty great one, around $179, I thought. Okay, next one's such a cool one. It's Dark Knight's Metal #3 in the Lee variant cover, though. Saw this one pop up in Canada, couldn't resist, ended up picking it up for $79.50, which is $100 even, Canadian, basically. $79.50 US dollars. So in this Lee variant cover, there's only 14 in the 9.8 out there. And, Dark Knight's Metal 3 is, Dark Knight's Metal 2 is the first cameo appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. 3, it's a great read. This is the one I read where I was like, wow, Batman Who Laughs is so cool. Because, in one panel in this one, he's like, oh yeah, my parents' death. He's like, I'm over it. So it just kind of goes to show you that Batman Who Laughs is a pretty crazy villain, and he's kind of over his parents' death, which is something, Batman could never do, probably. So always liked the Dark Knight's Metal #3 read, and I'm a big Jim Lee fan. This is a cover homage of a Justice League #1, the New 52 Justice League #1 that Jim Lee did. Yeah, that was probably like 2010, 2011 or so. So pretty cool cover homage, and just Batman Who Laughs front and center here. Great cover, a 1 of 14 for $79.50 US dollars. I just couldn't resist. 87.5% is the 9.8 ratio. So this is a great one to think about if you're a Batman Who Laughs fan. And yeah, I did kind of make a point to add a couple Batman Who Laughs keys, because I do have the Teen Titans 12 in the first print 9.8. That's one I've had for quite a long time. But I was able to get the Dark Knight's Batman Who Laughs #1. This is in the first print, the origin of the Batman Who Laughs on this one. Quite a few of these in a 9.8. There's 725 9.8s in the blue label, 81.4%, the 9.8 ratio. So I paid for this one $109.50. I grabbed this one shortly after I saw an auction in the US, and I talked about it on a video. I think it was on like one of our Rising in Value videos or something like that. But this one had went for like $135 something in an auction, US dollars. So when this one popped up in Canada, and it was like a week or two after I saw that auction, kind of was throwing in some, I think this was my second offer. My first offer was maybe like 102, and then the 109.50 they ended up accepting, which I think is a pretty decent deal with one of these going around that 135 in an auction. And just, I'm a big Batman Who Laughs fan, certainly probably my most favorite modern villain. You kind of want the origin, and this is kind of one of those, pretty big key issues to a target if you're a Batman Who Laughs fan. So yeah, glad to have picked that one up for a pretty great price as well, I think. And last one, just couldn't resist on this one. It's Marvel Actions Origins #4. This retells the origin of Miles Morales, and kind of realized like I had read this one, and I wanted to kind of reread Ultimate Comics #1 and 2 to kind of see how they compare to this one. And Ultimate Comics, I'm not the biggest fan of Sarah Pichelli's Miles Morales, and she did Miles Morales for like the whole first couple years of Miles Morales being in comic books, and unfortunately I just don't really like the eye appeal of that Miles Morales. Kind of looks like babyish a little bit. That's probably one of the only negatives you could say about like Ultimate Fallout 4 and Ultimate Comics #1. But really just like the read on this Marvel Actions Origins #4, which pretty much like retells Ultimate Comics #1 and 2, and I think issue 3 even. But more kid-friendly, so it's kind of straight to the point. But to be honest, I like the art better in this one. Just better colors, better art. Just, again, not really a fan of Pichelli Miles Morales. So for this one at the price, I thought it was making sense for me. Just after I read it, I kind of went online and was curious at what some of the 9.8s were going for. Ended up grabbing this one for $55.50. I think I saw quite a few go for like $42 like in an auction. But there's only 9.8s in a blue label. 100% of them are 9.8s, so all of the 9 that were sent were 9.8s. And actually, like in Canada too, there's a couple sellers on eBay I've noticed still have this one in like a raw at the new comic book day price kind of thing. So they still haven't really sold out from when they came out on New Comic Book Day. So if you want this one for like $5 or $6 in the raw, you could probably still do that easily. I know there's a few in Canada I thought about purchasing, but in a 9.8, I think under 50, like I probably just a little bit overpaid for this one. Just because it's like, what's 10 bucks, you know, around this kind of price level, I guess. And yeah, just a cool retelling of the Miles Morales origin. I actually think they retell it better in this one than in the Ultimate Comics, and I like the art better as well. Yeah, on these the Marvel Actions Origins number 4. Okay, so these are all kind of my recent purchases. And yeah, you know what, sticking in the kind of affordable range, admittedly. I'm on the record as saying I kind of have like most of the big key issues that, you know, when I got into the hobby 4 or 5 years ago, I was really, you know, wanted to buy all those big key issues that I really wanted as a kid. I kind of have all those. So nowadays, just kind of adding in, you know, great ones at affordable prices that I think, you know, have a decent future, and ones I just really enjoy having from like a pride of ownership perspective. And pretty much all of these I'm like pretty jazzed about and have been, you know, checking them out and looking at the covers and all that. So already getting a great pride of ownership from these recent purchases. All right, team, we'll leave it at that though. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully, yeah, you got some ideas on some of my new buys. But thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. If you're liking my content, please subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll keep you updated on future videos.